Anyway, you guys want to move on to our first topic?
Sure.
All right. Our first topic of the day is, if I can go to the right place here. So topic one is we're going to talk about AI art and the ethics of AI art. So it was about a week ago or so, maybe a little bit longer. I saw somebody had posted a photo of themselves with this AI program. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because, whenever a new app comes out, everybody kind of jumps on it. It's like, wow, let me just try this out. I want to see what I look like as a guy fighting a dragon or whatever, and apps continue to be developed and they get cooler and cooler. I mean, we've gone from, just, simple sparkles around our head or, an AI or a Instagram filter or something like that to like, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And so now obviously this AI stuff came out, and I don't know about you guys, but I was like super, super impressed. I'm like, this is really neat. Like, this is really awesome. I mean, it can make me look like a superhero. It can make me look like I'm in space and all this stuff. And so I posted a bunch of photos, which I just thought was something fun to do. I think I paid, and I did, I'll admit it, I paid like, the $13 or whatever it was to get the 100 photos. And so I did that. And then not long after that, I saw Dan do it. I saw Jeff do it. I saw Eric do it. I don't know if Jeff Morris, Jeff Morris, you did it. Again, it's on the thumbnail tonight. That's why I did the thumbnail for today, because it was our AI. Although I like the one that Eric did way better in our private chat. That was my that was my favorite one for sure. But I searched and searched for Jeff's, and I couldn't find it. So anyway, so we all did it. Matt, did you ever do any?
I did not.
Okay. So, we did it. We didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden we saw, some people, kind of commenting about it, making kind of some negative comments about it. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And then now all of a sudden we got this everywhere. Okay. And I'm sure you've seen this graphic. And it says no to AI generated images. And so for those of you that don't know, and what I've learned about since is that AI and these apps, they take from existing art. So there's, a million, bajillion images that artists, legit artists put out on the internet. And at that point, they kind of become fair game. It's just out there. And so all of these photos that are out there, these AI programs, these computers take these images and they kind of smash them up with your own stuff and create, again, what I think is just absolutely stunning art, absolutely beautiful art. But of course, that brings into question, is it ethical? Because is it stealing from artists? And so I've actually heard from a whole bunch of artists. I actually invited an artist on the show tonight. I invited Dave Igo. I was curious as to what he would say as a sculptor and an artist. He unfortunately had another show tonight. He had to moderate another show, so he couldn't make it. But I wanted to ask you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen the controversy. Again, we all did it. We all thought it was fun and cool, but also I don't know if we really knew the backstory of it. Now it's starting to kind of come out. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this program? Do you think people should be able to use it? For me, it's here to stay no matter what. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just curious as to what you guys think. Anybody want to comment on AI art?
Well, there's a few things going on. There's one, they're supposedly stealing the images from other artists. So now they haven't commented on that, but I did see like over a dozen images to where, this generator takes all these images, and how artists, they sign their name in the corner of their artwork. You can clearly see it in the app's images that somebody's signature used to be there, and now it's just blurred out. So they're clearly
actually right. Cece is just talking about this right now. She said that Daniel Danger, a mainly 2D artist, had a very colorful tweet about his take on AI art. He included shots of mangled signatures found from AI art that helps put things into perspective. So exactly what you were saying, Eric. Exactly.
Yep. So that's one issue. The other issue is artists are getting a little defensive or maybe worried that possibly this is going to replace them somehow. Personally, I see this more as something fun to play around with, like the way we did it. We were using it for funny, not funny, but just we're using it for like avatar pictures and cool looking pictures. I don't see like some company not hiring a professional artist over going to just some app looking for artwork. I think, artists are going to be okay. As far as the future goes, as this advances, who knows what's going to happen, but I think there's always going to be, a place for artists. Specifically, it's a certain style of art, it's digital art. So now the company, Prisma Labs, they're the ones that own the app Lensa. They actually commented on this on Twitter. So they didn't address the whole stealing of the art, but they did comment on it replacing artists. And they wrote, quote unquote, as cinema didn't kill theater and accounting software hasn't eradicated the profession, AI won't replace artists, but can become a great assisting tool. So that was their comment on Twitter.
Don't you want to hear the word yet?
Yeah. As I said, we'll see what happens in the future. But like I said, I don't see it. Like I said, like go back to like a company needs artwork for like, say, like a logo or something, or, something for their company. I don't see them going on Lensa's app or some other app and randomly generating some image, because it's so sporadic, the images you get, that, versus where you know what you want, you pay somebody, you tell them exactly what you want, and that's what you get. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future, but as of right now, I don't think it's a big threat to anything.
I want to thank Brad for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate it as always. Thank you very much, sir. It says, because Eric correct and said funny, well, maybe not funny. So yeah, there you go. What else do you guys think? What do you think, Dan, about AI art? I mean, we all love art. We love artists and we support the artists. So what do you think?
Yeah, it takes the artist to generate the source material, right? I mean, do I think that it's right for an AI, software web crawler to go out there and just grab any copywritten, material that it wants? No, that's, I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think I have a little bit of a problem with these software programs leveraging content that isn't theirs and making money from it, right? So, we're paying, they're leveraging someone else's work. So it took resource, time, energy, etc., never mind the intellectual property, to create that artwork. And I have kind of an issue with them just being able to do that. It's kind of like it's almost like, YouTube copyright rules, right? Being able to leverage, not being able to use copywritten music and videos because you're taking, you're benefiting financially in many cases from someone else's, blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, and investment. So I have a little bit of a problem with that. Look, if we were talking about freeware and everybody was just kind of enjoying this and it was for fun and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Maybe I have less of a problem, still not kosher completely, pardon the term, but it's not, so yeah, I've got a little bit of an issue with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that, like you said, if it was free, it'd be different. Maybe so. But it's not free. These apps, they don't own the art. I mean, there's just no way they own the art. Yeah. It is not owned. It is taken from source material.
I got charged twice, so thanks, Lensa, if you're watching. I paid the first
check your bills, guys. Check your bills.
I paid the first time, and I showed you guys, like, they just gave me some random images, just like of headshots. And meanwhile, I'm looking at Chris's images, and he's in all these like cool outfits and like all these different poses. So I went. I was looking at the info on the app, and it said, if you're unhappy, email us, and we'll refund you. So that's what I did. I emailed them.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, listen, I wasn't happy with the results I got. I would like a refund. That's what it says. They emailed me back maybe like 2 days later. Very nice. And they said, oh, we were having issues with our server. Try it again. Just go through the whole process of checking out. Don't worry, you won't be charged. So I did that, and I did get charged. So now I paid twice, and I emailed them and showed them I got charged twice, and I haven't heard from them since. So
I bet you won't hear back.
They're
either.
Gone. They got $14 on mine now.
Could you imagine? Okay, so think about that. Think like the 5 of us or whatever, we all did it. We thought it was fun. You know, it wasn't that big of a charge for us, you know, maybe $5, or like I said, I think I paid 13. Think how many people did it though. Like, cause it swept Facebook. I mean, they could literally close up shop tomorrow and they're probably bajillionaires, I bet.
I felt like it said millions on the Twitter page I was reading or something like that.
Oh, I bet. I mean, just that's the thing is it's just crazy. I don't know. Jeff Delaney, where do you weigh in on this? I know that you also appreciate art and artists.
So are they really using copyrighted material? I assumed it was all public domain stuff.
It's just all stuff that all images they pull from the internet.
How can they get away with that?
That is the ethical question.
Yeah, they're not addressing it.
I mean, why aren't there lawsuits? Why aren't there lawsuits already? If
because it changed it. It took the original art and mended it, melded it all together, and created something new out of it.
Yeah,
well, it's not the same. It's not like they're just saying, here's the image, and here we're selling this exact same image to you, because they're not. They're putting your face in it.
A lawsuit arguing against paying anybody anything because it is different.
Well, at what point is it considered like stealing artwork? If it's like mashed up, like 100, is it still stolen? I mean, it's not like 1 or 2 where it's recognizable, but you can clearly see there were signatures and some.
And there are some that are incredibly, like, people are actually now finding. I saw some posts today where people are finding, okay, so here's the original, here's what the AI spit out, and it's nearly identical. It's not quite, but you can definitely tell that it came from that image.
All right,
so some of them are like that. Some of them are, completely different, with all the mangled fingers. I'm sure you guys saw a lot of weird fingers and hands. They can't do hands right, which has also become a meme. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but it's crazy. This is another comment I want to highlight from Cece here, because I did see this article. Here in Colorado, someone submitted an AI-generated piece of art to the State Fair Art Show, and they won.
Wow.
But did not disclose it was AI-generated until after they won.
Wow. That's not okay.
That's not okay.
How does one person own a style of art? I mean, there are some comic book artists that I have a hard time telling who did it till I look to see who it is, because they look so similar. There's quite a few people that look like Jim Lee. And how does Jim Lee not go, you stole my art, you're stealing my art style?
Well, comic book artists steal like crazy from each other.
They do.
They always have.
But I mean, I don't see this being a concrete issue that somebody's going to win.
I feel like there's pockets of this all, like I always wonder about, okay, so when you go to a Comic-Con and there's this giant artist alley with unknown artists that they clearly don't have the license to draw DC or Marvel or Star Wars, but they sell thousands of dollars worth of this stuff that's actually at the same event that's represented by DC or Marvel.
And like, some of it's a clear rip.
How is that not stealing from them? Because, it's like, we could talk about this a lot, that I think it happens in pockets all over. This just happens to be the newest thing that ruffles feathers. But,
it's like the same people that are arguing on, and that have argued in our Facebook group about it's stealing the art. How many of them are supporting buying custom statues and custom figures? They're screwing the artists.
No different. Yep.
I think what we're going to see going forward, though, in a lot of artwork that goes online, is a lot of watermarks and things that distort an image unless you personally buy it.
Well, one of the main issues, it wasn't so much are they stealing it. I think a lot of people were worried about the other issue was, is this going to replace like art? Like somebody just said, somebody won a contest handing in generated art. So it's like, is it going to replace artists somewhat in the future of what they do?
Brendan Riley here says Nike won't use AI art, but small to mid-sized businesses looking to save a buck will, and that takes money out of the pockets of local graphic artists and other creative professionals. And that's the thing, is I think that a lot of artists kind of see the writing on the wall. It's just like somebody did an analogy about the Walmart self-checkout. That used to be a person, that used to be a job, but now it's replaced with a machine. So it's the same thing. Is a machine going to replace the artist?
They technically didn't replace people. You're just having to do it yourself.
And there's a whole bunch of other AI apps out there. It's not just Lensa. Like, so Lensa, I think mostly was just using like our photos. There's other apps like you tell it what to do and it does it for you. You tell it something crazy like there's a frog in space and it draws you like a crazy looking astronaut looking frog in space. So like it comes down to that, to where I don't know if companies need something specific like that and they can get away with creating artwork like that instead of hiring an artist. I don't know.
So Michael brings up the point, it would take nothing for a statue company to enter their parameters for the next pose of a certain character, then not have to hire an artist for the work. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there has been a tremendous amount of art this week in all of the groups. And it's all AI generated. Some of them are these kind of like this, like the steampunk stuff that we talked about. There's been some vampire stuff I've seen with superheroes. There's just been like, there's all this AI art with Batman. So they just type in Batman and the scenario, like Batman on fire. And you can tell it is AI art. But that's the thing right now we can, but in the future, how are we going to tell? Like, how are we going to tell what is created by AI? How are we going to tell what's created by an actual artist? So, and again, it comes down to this, like, okay, let's say this AI art creates something that's Batman related. Well, then a statue company sees it and says, well, okay, I'm going to make that exact same thing. I don't know.
Who
What do
would
you guys
own
think?
the rights or license to art like that? And then, because doesn't Sideshow or any statue company for that matter have to buy the rights to the artwork to make a model of it?
I don't know.
I mean, I wonder where the licensing agreements between artists, you know, DC, Marvel, whoever it may be, and then physically producing something come in.
So I was thinking this in statue form. Like if you look at programs to where, say, like when they go to do like a texture on a statue, I think it's called like whatever.
Sorry, I was gonna zoom in on Dan and the orange glow of doom. I don't know what that was, but that was funny.
Click the wrong button.
It's AI. Yeah, there you go.
If you go like programs to create like statues, like when they go to do the texture, I think they call it like image mapping, and you push a button and it automatically wraps the texture around the image for you and stuff like that. I mean, is that replacing the artist that it's doing that for you? Or even like in animation these days, back in the day, you used to have to draw like animated art every single pose. Now you draw a starting point and you draw a finishing point and the computer automatically generates the whole entire movement for you. I mean, that's replacing the artist a little bit, but I think the argument was that this is so simple. You just push a button and boom, like you have this.
Yeah, that's it. It's just boom.
Generated.
Like, yeah. I mean, in seconds. In seconds, I had 100 images of me in different scenarios using other people's art.
Yeah, and there's nothing to learn to where those programs are our programs, and
No,
you have to learn as an artist to use that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just programming is all that is. The Rithledge Record 499 Super Chat. Thank you very much. Chris, 2 representatives from Spec have confirmed with me that Prime 1 Talon will be arriving either at year's end or Q1 2023. I pray that you're right. That would be great news. I haven't heard anything from Todd on that end, but that would be absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I just checked Prime 1's website. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. It still says 2022. So we'll see.
So another, people have been commenting, artists. I know Daniel Bell commented today, Emil Carfong, some of the artists that we know in the community have all commented about this again, with the say no to AI. And a lot of them have acknowledged, and like I said earlier, is that it's not going anywhere. AI is here to stay. It's only probably going to get worse, more than likely. So a lot of people were commenting, a lot of the artists were commenting and saying that it's just something that we're going to have to work alongside. Do you think that's possible? I mean, do you think that, like, can you guys see a way that they could use the AI tools to create their own art? I just don't know. I don't know. I understand that they're saying that it's here to stay, but at the same time, I'm wondering, like, how can they work with it? Do you guys have any thoughts or ideas?
Like you said, I'm seeing a lot of digital artists saying they're not happy with this and they don't like it at all. So,
yeah. I mean, how could you for say an artist like the ones you mentioned there, make a new sculpt for whatever figure they're doing and use AI and still have it be your style and original.
Yeah.
I mean, the style would be different automatically.
CC says it's not about style. It's taking multiple pieces of art and overlapping them to a degree. Daniel Danger and Dan Mumford have similar styles. They're not going to sue each other. The comic artist is still creating that art by hand with their own physical and artistic style, even influenced by others, but taking digital assets without actually creating them yourselves is a no-no. A lot of great comments here. Sorry, I'm really behind. You mentioned customs are a well-known
art gray area that we don't understand or know to really get to one side, how one side would argue it with the other. But how many variations have we all seen of a Starry Night?
Right.
And is the Van Gogh? Is it Van Gogh that did Starry Night, or who did Starry Night?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Van Gogh.
Yep.
Whoever gets the royalties or whatever from that, do they get a piece of every facsimile piece of, there was Doctor Who and the TARDIS version of Starry Night. Is Van Gogh's family getting a piece of that? And how is that? That's pretty much a ripoff.
Yep. You're
Yeah,
right.
true.
I mean, it's been done for generations. I mean, it's been done forever. It's just, again, like
whether
this
it's drawn out on a piece of paper. It's
Yeah.
just like these, they used to have to sculpt all these statues by hand in clay or whatever medium they're working in. Now they're using a computer to do it. Is it not just advancement of the art form, the medium it's working in?
I mean, that's like Brad just said. There have always been people resistant to new technology. Amazon, I'll never buy in the actual store. Netflix, you mean I can't go rent my DVDs? It's just it happens so fast. The technology happens so quick, and so it's hard sometimes to adjust to it. What would you guys think that if? So let's say this Lensa. Let's just say Lensa had a bank of images, but they paid for all those images. And then out of those images, they created new art, but they did pay the original owner. Would that be different? Do you think artists would be? Do you think artists would be okay with that at that point? Because I think
I
they
don't
would.
think all of them would.
Yeah.
100%.
I think somebody's going to. I didn't get what I felt like I was worth. Somebody's not going to be happy about it.
Yeah. So I mean, even in that case, you can't make everybody happy, like you said, and I think that's true. I think that might help some of this, but again, I don't see it happening. If they're getting away with it now, and not having to pay a dime and just taking pure profit, which it sounds like they are.
It's also not producing very high quality images. If we're just talking about Lensa,
Yet.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, Eric. That's the thing. Is like, again, the mangled hands. What I think the images look really, really good. Are they perfect? No. But I mean, it's amazing that they were able to take our heads and put them in these really neat situations. Dan and his butterfly. Did you remember somebody said it looked like a butterfly? Yeah, Dan and your butterfly.
I had to change that.
I liked your update. Although I do really like the white. The white did look cool on you. But
Somebody's
it's like
commented that it's like music sampling, and that's something. When that all started, there was a lot of uncredited.
Yeah.
People won Grammys and awards by using music that never got an award won, but it was popular.
At what point? That's what I'm saying. Is it stealing? Like, so that's just sampling, say, like one thing. It's where Lensa might be sampling hundreds or thousands and combining it together. So it's, I don't know.
Was that like Napster, right? Wasn't Napster the very first thing that?
No, I'm talking about like when they actually sample a piece of music or a
just sampling in general. Like, yeah.
And it's like Will Smith's theme from Men in Black was built on I can't remember her name, but it was a song called "Forget Me Nots."
Yeah.
You know, the melody of it is all. There's a lot of music like that. That it's, you know, the main hook of it is the main hook of another song.
I think it's going to come down to how recognizable the images are. If it's clearly looks like somebody else's artwork, like, you know, one or two people's work mixed together, there's going to be an issue.
I
So
feel like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I have a question though, with the whole ethical part of it, even on top of just the artists. You know, a lot of like the images in our groups, we're using superheroes. Now, when does that infringe upon rights for the superhero comic art companies, even DC, Marvel, Star Wars? I mean, now we're going to another level of stealing rights and licensing.
Yeah, one of my images was Superman.
And you paid for that. So you paid to be Superman from a non-licensed distributor.
But what's different from me going on Etsy and saying, "Hey, would you draw my face on a Superman body?" Because that happens all the time too. Like, you know, they're not licensed. They're not licensed to make that stuff.
So Robert Hendrickson brings up another point in the chat, which was another thing I kept seeing come up in articles, is that they now have pictures of your face and could be using that again. Now it just goes back into the database. Who knows where that's going? I mean, it says in the database it gets deleted after 24 hours, but who knows? But now they have even more images of us, or just even the stuff that they've been generating using our images. So it's
all government conspiracy. Let's start another rumor. Come on.
I mean,
that'll be the next thing, right? That'll be the next thing.
You hear that with every app, though. It has your
you
picture or something.
You do.
But I mean, if you have one of these,
yeah,
they're already watching you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everything that's going on.
Watching and listening.
You're being tracked, just like your wife was able to find her purse and keys.
Which is crazy.
And if a person, an average person from Kansas can do that, imagine what somebody with real resources could do.
Yeah. Exactly. I got a great super chat here, $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. Hello, quick message, and thank you for your time and effort you put in the community. Love the live with Dan and Eric. Great conversation between collectors. So again, I tip my hat to both those gentlemen. They did a phenomenal job, and it was nice because there was no agenda, there was no topic. It was just you guys talking, and I loved it.
Just chatting. Yep.
Two guys hanging out.
I love it.
Yep,
I'd like to do that more often, where we just hang out and talk, but whatever comes up comes up. So I love those kind of shows. Fatal, I always say Fatal. Fatal, the collector, it says all of our pictures are public information, nothing we can do about it. So I mean, like Jeff said, if we have one of these,
they're all mingling in the cloud together, and they're getting along. So they're all there. Somebody's,
Chris says, we don't know how this will play out, but going by history, artist usually gets the short end of the stick, sadly. I think you're exactly right. Again, I don't see an end to this. I don't see the artist ever being happy about this, and I don't blame them. I mean, if it's using their work against their will, but it's hard because you put your work out there, you're proud of it, you want people to see it. That's how you promote yourself. That's how you get fame and fortune and everything else. Which is putting this beautiful art out in the world. But it's a double-edged sword, because now that you put it out there, now it becomes fair game because it's on Google.
Yeah. They're going to have to change how these images get saved. So there's actually ways, like on websites, to make it so that you can't physically save an image. It has to be programmed that way on the website. I mean, perhaps they can do things like that. Or, I mean, artists always watermark their stuff, but it looks like the program, the AI generators, just taking little tiny bits and pieces here and there. So it's probably working its way around the watermarked images and stuff.
Brendan Riley says, I made the half scale cap video and shared it with Chris. He didn't see it, take it, and pass it off on his own on the channel. Lensa shouldn't do that with still art either. I agree. I think that they should absolutely credit. And that's why I said, if they get to a point where they actually pay the artist for the images, and I'm sure that there will be, after all of this, I'm sure there will be some legit ones that do that. And maybe that's how they market. They say, hey, we work with the artists, we're directly, or like, imagine if it gets to a point where, like, okay, well, we're Lensa and we're working exclusively with Jim Lee's art. and we're working exclusively with Lee Bermejo's art, and we're going to make AI generated images based on their art. I can see that happening. Can't you?
Yeah, but that would be like an additional revenue stream.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to charge for that, but I can see, but at least that way that they would be legit.
But
I can absolutely see them working with certain artists to create a style like we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Don't you, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, and I think artists would then want to sign on because again, that promotes their work, although it would be changing their work. So maybe they wouldn't want to. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just go back saying again. I mean, it's not just Lensa. There's other apps out there, and a lot of them, not a lot, but some of them are free and do this for you. I mean, they make money off the ads on the app, but they don't charge for the images.
It's just crazy.
Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.